In the past 4 videos, we have put Pi Network to the ultimate test. We have pitted it against the giants and innovators of the crypto world. We compared it to Bitcoin, the undisputed king of scarcity, and concluded that Pi is not digital gold. We compared it to Ethereum, the queen of smart contracts, and concluded that Pi is not a world computer. We compared it to Solana, the VC-backed challenger, and concluded that Pi is not a high-speed rocket ship. And we compared it to Worldcoin, the controversial identity project, and concluded that Pi's approach to identity is completely different. We have spent all this time defining what Pi is not. Now, in the grand finale of the mini-series Pi versus the World, we will synthesize everything we have learned to answer one final question. What is Pi Network's true place in the crypto universe? Is it a real competitor, a niche player, or will it forever remain a social experiment? Over the next 40 minutes, we will present our final analysis. This is Pi Decoded, Part 1, Synthesis, Lessons Learned. To define what Pi is, we must first summarize the lessons from our battles. Lesson from Bitcoin. The Pi versus Bitcoin showdown taught us that Pi's economic model is built on distribution, not scarcity. Its goal is to become a widely held medium of exchange, completely opposite to Bitcoin's digital gold philosophy. Therefore, evaluating Pi by Bitcoin's value standards is a fundamental mistake. Lesson from Ethereum. The Pi versus Ethereum comparison showed that Pi is a payment and social layer, not a complex smart contract platform. While Ethereum provides deep, trustless infrastructure for DeFi and NFTs, Pi offers a simple, trust-required SDK for Web2-style apps to integrate payment functionality. It prioritizes user experience over raw technological capability. Lesson from Solana. Our battle with Solana emphasized that Pi is a slow-moving social movement, not a VC-backed hypergrowth rocket. While Solana chose the high-speed path at the cost of stability and decentralization, Pi chose organic slow growth at the cost of development speed and, currently, real-world utility. Lesson from Worldcoin. Finally, the comparison with Worldcoin showed that Pi's approach to proof of identity is conservative and traditional. It relies on existing government KYC systems, which are slow and frustrating, rather than attempting to build a new, radical, and ethically controversial biometric identity system from scratch. So, the fog has lifted. We know Pi is not trying to be Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, or Worldcoin. So what category does it belong to? Part 2. Defining Pi's category. The niche market of Social Web3. The truth is, Pi Network does not fully fit into any established crypto category. So, I propose we define a new category, one that Pi is pioneering: Social Web3. What defines a Social Web3 project? 1. User-first technology. Second, unlike traditional crypto projects that build complex technology hoping users will come, Social Web3 projects build a massive community first, using simple, gamified mechanisms. The main asset is the human network. 2. Focus on P2P and social utility. The goal is not complex financial engineering, DeFi, or high-end art speculation, NFTs. The goal is to facilitate simple peer-to-peer transactions and social interactions, commerce, communication, and services. 3. A bridge, not a revolution. These projects do not try to overthrow the existing system. They use familiar tools, mobile apps, traditional KYC, simple interfaces, to act as a gentle on-ramp designed to bring billions of non-technical users from Web 2 into the Web 3 world. Pi Network is the largest and most ambitious social Web 3 experiment in the world. Its real competitors are not Bitcoin or Ethereum, but perhaps future projects from giants like Meta or Telegram, if they decide to launch their own coins. Now that we have defined its category, we can finally address the final question. Part 3. Final verdict: competitor, niche player, or social experiment? So, is Pi a real competitor in the crypto space, a niche market player, or just a social experiment? Let's argue each case. Argument for competitor. For Pi to become a true top-tier competitor, one thing must happen: a successful open mainnet launch, converting its tens of millions of users into a vibrant, active economy. If even a small fraction of its user base starts using Pi for real commerce, the network effect will be so large that the rest of the crypto world will have to take it seriously. Its massive scale is the argument for being a competitor. Argument for niche player. This is probably the more realistic scenario. Pi may never compete with Ethereum in DeFi or Bitcoin as a store of value. However, it can carve out a strong niche as a P2P payment system for specific communities or emerging markets. Imagine it becoming the default currency for freelancing between countries with difficult banking systems, or the main tool for P2P commerce in Southeast Asia or Africa. In this scenario, it thrives by not competing with giants, but by serving a user base they overlook. Argument for social experiment. This is the pessimistic view. If Open Mainnet is indefinitely delayed, or if it launches but the economy fails to create real, sustainable utility, Pi will be remembered as the largest and most fascinating social experiment in crypto history. It will be a landmark study on network effects, human trust, community building, and hype power. It will be a failure as a currency, but a huge success as a social science study. So, after 14 deep dive videos synthesizing all the evidence from our entire investigation, what is my final analysis of Pi Network's position in the universe? My verdict is, Pi Network is currently an intriguing social experiment, holding undeniable potential to become a strong niche market player. The leap from niche player to true global competitor remains the hardest step. It is possible, but it faces enormous technological, economic, and governance barriers it has yet to prove it can overcome. So, what should you watch for next? The path forward will be decided by a few key signals: a transparent and official roadmap for Open Mainnet, the emergence of high-quality killer apps in its ecosystem, and a clear move toward a more decentralized governance model. This concludes our mini-series Pi versus the World and our foundational investigation into Pi Network. We have defined what it is not, and where it stands. But our work is not done. The story is still being written. From now on, Pi Decoded will evolve. We will be your premier source to track those key signals. We will analyze every major development, every promising new app, and every step forward, or backward, toward Open Mainnet. We will continue applying our evidence-based analysis to the unfolding story. Thank you for joining me on this incredible investigative journey. The investigation continues. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next.